Yo, I'm Drew, and today we need to talk about Barcelona because this might be the end of the social club scene out there. So if you don't know about Barcelona, there have been cannabis social clubs out there for over 10 years. I'm actually unsure when the first social clubs opened, but I do know that I've been going there since 2016, which is like 9 years, and it had been a long thing before. I think it was around 2012. I could be mistaken, I'm sure people will correct me, but there's been this scene of cannabis social clubs, which is essentially a workaround for the law in Spain. So there's like a loophole, should we say, where you can have a social club where you can allow private members to smoke cannabis inside, because in Spain, it's not illegal to consume cannabis inside a private residence. So essentially, that's what the original cannabis social clubs were supposed to be. It was supposed to be a social club for people to come by and chill and blaze together. Then people realized there's an extra loophole here, which is, well, you can't sell anything to someone, but what you can do is you can give somebody something for free, because technically there's like a limit on grams. I forget what Spain actually is, but there's a limit on how much you can actually give somebody, and you can give it to them for free in a private place, and that's perfectly fine and legal. Obviously, you can also donate to the club as well. You can donate to the club if you want, but if you haven't donated to the club, maybe we won't give you the free stuff, you know what I mean? So that is the loophole here. Then these cannabis social clubs became massive because people realized, well, these are essentially just shops, right? So everyone, I say shops, but like they're essentially like clubs, because they were still running as clubs, but people are using them as shops. So that's where this big loophole in Spain came from. And then the clubs absolutely blew up. They were amazing for such a long time. Now there's places like Tenerife that have been having crazy problems in the last year with letting tourists in. Now all clubs are not really supposed to let tourists in, supposed to be for Spanish residents, and obviously Tenerife is a crazy touristy place, so the only people you're gonna get coming in are gonna be tourists, and that creates a huge problem. Then loads of them get raided. FBI, open up! That's kind of been going on for the last year. I think it's been going on a bit longer than that, but it's been really bad in the last year. Tenerife is pretty much done right now. Like, I think a lot of people know that. But Barcelona is kind of going that way as well. And just to put some more context here, there's events like Cannabis, which are like the biggest canna events in the entire world. And obviously there's loads of clubs. I go to Cannabis not for the event, but to go to the clubs, and so does everyone else. But I'm not a Spanish resident, right? So I've been hearing recently that Barcelona have been having similar problems. I've heard that a lot of clubs have been getting shut down more than usual. Like, a lot of clubs in Barcelona have been raided over the years. And to give even more context here, that event that I just told you about, Cannabis, they just announced that they're not doing a Barcelona event anymore. There is no Barcelona event, at least for the foreseeable future, because the venue they were hosting at is having renovations. So most of the time, obviously, there might have been more pushback than right now, but if suddenly all the clubs in Barcelona closed right now with no Cannabis coming up, there's not really going to be that much pushback from the owners to try and open up, because right now there is a lot of pushback. Like, a lot of clubs get shut down and then from a raid, and then they reopen the next day. So now the Barcelona police have resorted to just cementing the doors up. So like, you get raided, they're like, no, you have to shut down, and then they cement your door up. So that way you can't just come back in and start operating, because then they have to go through the whole procedure again, right? Now here's where the really bad news comes in, is I have obviously been hearing about all the stuff that's been going on in Barcelona that's been getting worse. So I was walking down the street the other day and I saw Jack the Plug. He's been running the Barcelona store there since 2016. You know, an absolute amazing legacy club that I think a lot of UK people especially really know and respect. And I was asking him, like, what's the situation with Barcelona right now? Like, what's happening? And he was like, bro, like, this is the end. Like, he was telling me that they're closing all clubs in like 2 months. Like, everything is gonna be gone. Being advised by lawyers that this is pretty much the end. Like, there's nothing you can really do. And it's really sad, because like, places like The Plug have been going for 9 years. And like, I think some other people have been telling me that there's just gonna be inspections coming up in that time. So I'm not really sure if it's more of a case of like, okay, there's gonna be inspections and then you have to go back to like the full original model, absolutely no tourists, absolutely no profit, and just like a normal social club, you know what I mean? Which, if that is the case, that is essentially just the end of all the clubs. Like, yeah, okay, so you have two options. It's either you close, or you get inspected and you're still running like normal and they close you, or you keep running and you can barely even pay rent. So that's the options that I'm kind of seeing right now for Barcelona, which is not a very bright future. And again, I think because Cannabis isn't happening anymore, there isn't really going to be any pushback. I think one thing that a lot of people don't realize is a lot of these clubs over there, they make like 70, 80% of their entire yearly revenue during Spannabis. Already these clubs, from Spannabis not being there in Barcelona, they've just lost 70% of their yearly revenue already. So like they're probably already thinking like, wow, this was already the end. And now this is happening and the raids are happening and it's getting worse, and it just seems like Barcelona is kind of over. I've seen so many people since I've been in the Netherlands being like, yeah, I'm out. You know, people who came from the Netherlands thinking, yo, the Netherlands isn't the one anymore, 10 years ago went to Barcelona because they were like, this is the new scene, now coming back. Which is a sad sight to see. But I'm interested in how it's gonna go. Maybe there's gonna be some pushback, maybe somebody fights it in court, maybe somebody wins, maybe somebody manages to stay open. I'm not 100% sure, and from what I'm hearing here, it doesn't sound good. I think most people are just preparing for this to be the end. So if there's any shops that you have absolutely loved in the last 10 years, and any places you've been to, any places you definitely don't want to miss, please show those business owners your support right now. I'm sure they need it more than ever. If you want to go out there, go see them, have your final time there, I'm sure they would really, really appreciate that. And I wanted to mainly make this video because I know this information now, and I double checked that I could share it, and I figured if I didn't share it, people would be like, Drew, why didn't you tell us 2 months ago when you knew so I could go out and see my favorite place again for the last time before it goes, and now that, you know. So yeah, I just wanted to let you guys know this is the situation. I hope you guys have a lovely day, and I'm sorry for the sad news. And if you like this video, subscribe, because I'm gonna be making a lot more talking style videos like this where we just chat about a subject. Yeah, see you in the future.